welcome to another video on the channel. It's GHOSTDRIFTX, aka Ghost. In this video, we're going to focus on the Carnage, but we're going to talk about some of the other bots in the gameplay. But I want to focus on the Carnage because the Carnage did get like a nerf because the Thunders were nerfed, and then they were actually buffed against shielded bots. But that loss in damage affects you against other bots in general, and it does come into play. Plus, the Carnage does need more armor. So let's get right into it. Right now, we're in the Rhino. I don't have the albino Rhino, right? But I do have a Rhino. And what I'm doing, I'm just pushing. This is how I used to run the Rhino. I mean, you can do it. Like, I probably could have cut under. There's a little walkway on this side. You can actually run under that. So that might have been a better move. I didn't think about it until I was watching this. So you can probably sneak under that walkway and push through and get to them faster and maybe have a little cover on top of that. But here we're pushing, and there's a Thunder Raijin there, and then also you have the Tritons over there behind me with that Natasha. We get in, my team is still pushing behind me, so that's a good thing. And now we're going to switch out to the main robot. We want to talk about the Carnage. The Carnage is kind of odd. It feels fast, feels slow, feels like, you know, if you can get just a little bit closer, you can do more damage. It's just one of those odd bots. So we're going to get right into it. I think Game Changer is the first robot we engage, and it's a Leo. Of course, Leos have a ton of armor. I don't like fooling with Leos too much. This one, fortunately for me, had aphids on it. If it had magnums, or even pins, but definitely magnums, because they constantly fire, they can do a lot of damage to you while you're trying to take this bot out. So here we're going to actually do our rush, right? So we're going to rush, and then we're going to try and circle them to try and stay out from in front of that EC Thunder. You see the aphids hit the ground. Most of them don't hit me, and I've already knocked out most of the armor, so they're down. And now I'm looking, and I see that there's a Punisher Griff there. Now, I know I could probably get them. I know the Punisher does a lot of damage, but if you can rush them, you can probably get around to the side of them and try and take them out. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get to them, but I also want to pay attention to that is the spawn area for them as well. So if I drop in, if I run out there to that bot, somebody could spawn in and take me out. So I'm checking my roof, because Dreadnought, you really got to check your roof. And before I could tell what bot that was, this Stalker shows up. So I want to get the Stalker out the way. The Stalker, I guess they kind of forgot about me after they fired the aphid, and now they realize, okay, there's a Carnage after me, so they're going to try and use cover. And just like, you know, anybody, you try to run after the bot, but then you just try and look for a different angle. So here I'm like, I can't catch them that way. Let's just go this way. Now, they could have tried to go behind the wall directly to my right, but they didn't, and that worked out for me. But then it also brought me over right to their teammates who were low on health, and I just basically walked through the crew. I mean, Natasha from the side, just, you know, ugh. And they're already taking damage from my team as well. The Carnage is very strong being a flanking bot. I've always played this way in most cases, and this is really how you want to play your Carnage. I know some people want to run face to face or run up on you. You take a lot of damage, and you may not get to use the actual full potential of this bot when you do that. When you go from the side, when you look for different angles, when you try to make sure you've gotten as close as possible, when you try to use your rush whenever you can. Here we're going to use a rush effectively. They're so focused on whoever's in front of them, they forget about me. And so when I come around the side, you're going to see they're going to try and jump, but it's too late. Okay, it was too late at that point. I was already on them. So now we're trying to look, and then, of course, they drop in with another build. Now that build, the DB that just dropped in, or what we call the death button, that DB is very dangerous. So I want to watch myself, but also I want to show you the Carnage is still effective at long range. It just feels like it doesn't do a lot. But you can see the little white mark every time I hit that Griffin. That's damage I'm doing, and you're going to see I'm going to take that Griffin out from this range. I'm not at the max of my range, right? That was right under 400, so to speak, but I still took him out. So here, I could take this one out, but I have to be real careful, right? So what my goal was to run, force them to unload most of their can if they would, and then back off. But unfortunately, there was a plasma to my right taking me, you know, putting the hammer on me. So that's the thing about the Carnage. It does need a buff in the armor. So now we're to the plasma build. This build is in the video I did yesterday, and basically just said this is a burst damage, okay? The plasma build is about burst. And burst damage is something, basically how quickly your weapons engage your target and how much damage they do in that short amount of time. So burst damage can take you out very quickly. EC Thunder technically has burst damage, but I was running these because this was on a Griffin, right? So we want to look at the burst damage of this weapon. So you can see I'm going to take this Carnage out before they even get to that rock, okay? That's what I'm talking about, burst damage, because you have magnums that are always firing, but also you have the Tyrans that are constantly firing too until they go into their cooldown phase. So here we're trying to stay by the wall. Now if you're playing on your device or on a device that you can fire only one weapon, I really would have only been firing my right hand side weapons and not firing my left hand side, because that way they will be offset to this. And then I tried to take this person out. I probably could have jumped also, maybe to try and stay with them, but it didn't work out. So I don't know if it was level difference or what, or I was just lower health, but I went down. So this is my Buzzsaw. This is the trash can. So if you hear me say trash cans, I dump trash cans. That's the Orkans on the right, and then the Pinatas on the top. This is the top burst damage build I can think of in the game, simply because of the amount of damage it comes out. Now if you have a weapon that has 3 medium weapons, that's going to do more damage than this. Okay, so you're looking for maximum amount of damage in the shortest amount of time. Okay, you can say, well, a Treb does that, but there's a cooldown, so if you don't take them out that first time, they're gonna go. So here we got a Carnage. Remember I told you about that shield? If you let a DB Griff get inside your shield, that is a bad deal. Now that Carnage was somewhat low health as well. If that Carnage was at full health, they might have survived, but you have to be real careful dealing with a DB in that kind of range, because once those Orkans kick off, your Thunders are doing damage, but like I say, the Orkans come out so fast. So here we're just trying to damage this Rhino. Of course, we know the shield does not block splash, and I realize they have energy, so I'm actually at an advantage over this Rhino, because the Rhino is a plasma Rhino and not a DB Rhino. So now my teammate moves to the left, jumps over him. I jumped the opposite direction. Really didn't have an option to really block that, so we took them out. Now I'm just trying to put splash on the outside of this bot. Now I'm starting to get locked into him. So these are more your assists in the game. A lot of times you have a lot of assists that you don't get credit for, right? So you're hitting the bot and you basically lose the, you don't get credited at the end of the match that you took somebody out, because you didn't get the final shot. But these are all assists. I'm help breaking down the shield, and then I'm going to actually help damage the bot, and somebody else gets the credit, and that's okay, right? Now there are some battles where it's just one-on-one, but a lot of your fights in the battle you will end up helping somebody else, so you may not get credit for it, but you are putting that damage, or you're knocking a shield down, or you're trying to capture a beacon. So here we're just trying to watch and see where everybody's at. I was trying to knock down that shield, and as you can see, I got caught from a blind spot. So you have to be careful about standing still in the game. Only time you really want to stand still is if, let's say I'm running my Treb Fury, I'm out in the open, I'm going to stand still sometimes because I need to get locked in on somebody to take them out because they're moving, and I need to make sure I get this shot on point. Or you're by a wall and you're trying to keep from damage because you're under fire, you're trying to basically keep yourself covered. Those are really the only times you really want to just stand still. But for the most part, you want to be constantly somewhat moving, unless you're in a position where okay, nobody's going to get a really clean shot on me. So here we're just trying to knock down a shield. I don't know what that was. I think I saw the leg of a Raijin. That's why I kind of moved back to the left. Raijins are very dangerous at close range, so that was a Raijin. And I think they have Thunder, so Raijin gets 30% more damage. So here I'm still helping my teammate again. That's another, let's call it an assist. And the Raijin's still over there, so I want to be careful with that Raijin. But I know the Raijin cannot block anything I have. So here we go. We're just going to start firing before we get around the rock and continue to do damage. Now we're going to move back because I don't want to take too much damage from that Raijin, and we take them out. And then we keep moving. So once again, another assist, right? So you want to think in terms of assists when you're playing, because sometimes at the end of the match you like, man, I didn't do much damage, and I'm like, I was in the middle of the fight, I didn't do a whole lot. But it really comes down to, did you assist? So here I was just trying to try this out. It did hit him, and I actually let off the can. So it's possible if I had stayed on my cans or basically kept the firing button on hold, I might have been able to take that bot out because it was low health. And sometimes, actually not sometimes, this game is really big about angles, okay? Your angles, we're going to help take this guy out as well. So like I say, now that one I actually got credit for because I was putting more damage on the bot than my teammate. But there was another assist, so my teammate, that was assist for my teammate, right? So here we're going now. This thing about Dreadnought, you got bots that can get on the roof. This bot is low health. I'm basically closing my range to my 300, which is what I can do damage at. I'm actually in my range now. I'm at 272, and we're just going to try and get this bot out to hopefully finish it out. And they didn't see me. Like I say, when people on the roof, it's really, I mean, Dreadnought's one of the maps, you're more than likely going to get caught by somebody because of the way it's set up and people can be on top. So that's it. That's the battle. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Got any questions, throw them in the comments. And yeah, this is the Ghost. Definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that like button. Love it. Talk to you later. Have a great one. Deuces.
Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this video, and as always, choose like over death.